Let me tell you what happens in this book. St. Petersburg in summer is a strange city. The sun barely sets. The night never becomes fully dark. The sky remains pale, as if the day is only pretending to sleep. And it is in this suspended world, between light and shadow, that this story takes place. I live in this city, but in truth, I do not really live. I merely exist inside it. Every night, I walk through its streets like a ghost. I watch people pass by, couples laughing, friends talking, merchants closing their shops. I see lives unfolding before my eyes, but never inside my own. I have no friends. I have no family. Only my thoughts and the streets. Sometimes, when the loneliness becomes unbearable, I begin to talk to the buildings. I know it sounds strange, but when one is alone for long enough, anything that remains silent feels like a good listener. I know every house as if they were old acquaintances. Some seem gentle, some seem arrogant, others seem as lonely as I am. That night, I was walking without direction. As always, the air was soft, the sky too bright for night. The canal reflected a faint, trembling light. That is when I saw her. A young woman sitting by the water, crying. For a moment, I thought about walking past her. I always walk past everything, but something in that image made me stop. The way she hid her face in her hands, as if the world had become too heavy to bear. As I approached, I noticed a drunk man moving toward her. He was laughing loudly, speaking nonsense. The young woman shrank back, and in that moment, I could not ignore it. I stepped in. I spoke to the man. I don't even remember what I said. I only knew that he eventually walked away, muttering insults and leaving behind a heavy silence. The young woman lifted her face. Her eyes were red from crying. "Thank you," she said softly. That was how I met Nastenka. We spoke for a few minutes. At first, shy words, then longer sentences. I told her that I also wandered alone at night. She told me that this place was special to her. There was something in her voice, a mixture of sadness and hope. Before we parted, we agreed to meet again the next night, in the same place. And as I walked away, I realized something strange. For the first time in a very long time, I did not feel completely invisible. The next evening, I arrived before she did. I stood by the canal, watching the water, feeling a kind of nervous anticipation I had never known before. When Nastenka appeared, I felt something close to joy. She walked slowly, as if afraid of arriving too early or too late. When she saw me, she smiled. It was not a wide smile. It was small, shy, fragile. But as someone who lives in loneliness, it felt enormous. We walked side by side through the pale streets. Slowly, we began to speak more openly. She told me about her grandmother, who was blind and afraid of losing her. To keep Nastenka close, the grandmother pinned her dress to her own. It was strange, but also full of fear and love. Then Nastenka told me about him. 1 year earlier, a young man had rented a room in their home. He was kind, gentle. He spoke of dreams and travel. And slowly, she fell in love with him. Before leaving, he promised to return after 1 year and take her with him. That year had ended. He never returned. She was still waiting. As she spoke, her eyes glowed, not with happiness, but with a painful kind of hope that refuses to die. And as I listened, something heavy formed inside my chest. A strange feeling, something that felt like jealousy. But I had no right to it. I was only a stranger in her nights. Yet as we continued walking, I knew I was growing dangerously close to her. Not dangerous for her, but dangerous for me. Because that night, I began to fall in love with Nastenka. In the nights that followed, our small corner of the city became our entire world. The streets were empty, glowing softly, as if wrapped in a dream. Sometimes I wondered if any of it was real. Beautiful things rarely happened to me. We spoke of everything. Her fears, my thoughts, our loneliness, which took different forms. I could feel that Nastenka spoke to me more than she did to anyone else. She laughed. She cried. She opened herself. And with every word, I felt myself becoming more attached to her. But always, hidden beneath everything she said, was the presence of the other man. One night, she asked me for something. She wanted to write him a letter. She wanted my help finding the right words. The moment she said this, something inside me broke. The letter was her final attempt to bring him back. And I was in love with her. Still, I agreed. We sat side by side beneath the pale night sky. She dictated the words and I wrote them down. Every sentence was a piece of her heart given to another man. When we finished, she folded the letter carefully, holding it as if it was sacred. In that moment, I knew that no matter how close I was to her, Nastenka's heart belonged elsewhere. After we sent the letter, everything felt different. She became restless. Every distant sound made her turn her head, hoping to see someone emerge from the darkness. Each time she looked away, something hurt inside me. Still, we continued walking together. She thanked me for being there, said that without me, she would have lost her mind waiting. She called me her only friend. The word friend echoed inside me like a soft knife. On the fourth night, the air felt heavy. The sky was bright, but the mood was one of farewell. Nastenka was sad. She said maybe the man would never return. Maybe it had all been an illusion. She was on the edge of despair, and I could no longer remain silent. I told her I loved her. Not with poetry, not with beautiful words, but with the raw truth of someone who loves because he no longer knows how to live without it. For a moment, Nastenka was silent. Tears filled her eyes. She said I was kind. She said I was good. She even said maybe she could learn to love me. And for one fragile moment, I believed it. Then something happened. Across the street, a man appeared. I saw him first. He was walking quickly, like someone who was about to lose something precious. Nastenka turned, and the moment she saw him here, her entire body lit up. It was him, the man she had been waiting for. She ran to him without hesitation, without looking back. She ran straight into his arms. I remained behind, still, watching the world I had built in 4 nights disappear in seconds. Later, she sent me a letter. She thanked me for my kindness. She apologized for the pain she caused. She said she would never forget me, but she was going to marry him. The days passed. People continued walking through the streets. Couples kept laughing. The lights kept turning on at night, and I returned to being alone. But my loneliness was no longer empty. It had a memory. 4 nights. Only 4. But in them, I felt more than I had in years. I felt hope. I felt fear. I felt love, even if that love was never truly mine. And perhaps that is what this story is really about. That even a brief moment of true happiness can be enough to light up an entire lifetime of loneliness. And that is what happens in White Nights. A story about a love that almost happened, and a heart that learned what it means to feel.